Netflix frames the Frank Stillitano hit like it was just another mob betrayal gone wrong. One guy crossed a line, paid the price, end of story. But that version misses the real reason Stillitano was killed. This wasn't about revenge in the emotional sense. It was about power, optics, and control. In the Mafia world, Sammy the Bull describes, perception mattered just as much as action, and letting even a small challenge go unanswered was seen as an invitation for chaos. Stillitano wasn't some major boss or headline figure. That's actually what made the hit more important. He represented something dangerous, disrespect without consequence. From Sammy's own words, the concern wasn't that. Stillitano was a personal enemy. It was that his behavior suggested that the rules were flexible. And in an organization built entirely on fear and structure, flexibility was a threat. If one guy could act out, speak loosely, or align himself incorrectly and survive, others might follow. That's how power erodes from the inside. Netflix tends to personalize these stories because it makes them easy, hard to digest. One bad guy, one bad decision, one violent outcome. But Sammy explains that hits like this were rarely about the individual alone. They were about the message sent afterward. Killing Stillitano wasn't just removing a problem, it was reinforcing a hierarchy. It reminded everyone watching, crews, captains, associates, that no one was too small to be made an example of. This is where the romanticized version of Mafia honor completely falls apart. There was nothing noble or emotional about it. It was corporate in its thinking, cold, calculated. Sammy has said more than once that fear was the real currency. Respect followed fear, not the other way around. And when fear started slipping, leadership responded fast and hard. What Netflix also doesn't emphasize is how these decisions were discussed internally. According to Sammy, there wasn't some dramatic moment where everyone slammed fists on tables. It was quieter than that, almost casual. Conversations framed as what's best for the family. But behind that language was a simple truth. Power had to be maintained at all costs, even if the target wasn't particularly important. And this is where the story of Stillitano becomes more revealing than shocking. His death wasn't extraordinary. It was routine. That's the unsettling part. Sammy didn't describe it as a moral dilemma or a tragic necessity. It was business. And that mindset is exactly what Netflix struggles to convey because it strips away the drama people expect and replaces it with something far more disturbing